Hello there, everybody. Welcome to Worldwide Folklore Tales. Live cam from the backyard today. Just sitting outside, taking in the peace and quiet and tranquility of rural Maine. And many of us will be familiar with this view. So I just thought I would launch again just to try out the live again. And if anybody does stop by and says hi, I'd be more than welcome to. And hope that some of you do. Um, we are actually in a very advanced stage now of the next episode, which again is focused on the character string shoe, but really it's just making use of the woodland and some of the great stories and tales that we've got coming up, and the format too that we're going to be using, and the cinematography, and a little bit of a change with some of the narration as well, I think. Some new characters coming into play as well. So some people, actual character actors. It's going to be fun. So I'll just enjoy the view with you, and hopefully you stop by and say hello. If you have any questions, pop them in the chat. everybody. Welcome joining me on the porch. Worldwide Folklore Tales. Just a small view for this afternoon, this beautiful August day. How is everybody doing? Hi guys, say hello in the text if you want us to drop by, leave a message. We're just live on the front porch right now, overlooking the Folklore Forest. Yes, it is my backyard, yeah, it is. It's a backyard camera angle right now. Pretty soon we're going to have a point tilt and zoom camera that's going to be up there on one of those trees. So it's going to be looking out into those woodlands, and you'll be able to pan, tilt and zoom that, and we should see some interesting things out there, especially at night. Yeah, it is kind of still right now. Um, Very little wind, and as you can see, so not a lot of movement going on. But we're looking down towards the campsite off in the distance there, and you will hear somebody in the background probably with a chainsaw right now. There he goes. Yeah, that guy's nice. tell you what that might. I'm going to take a look. Definitely a chopper. Can't really see it actually because it's above the cloud. That's it. Oh, it went overhead there. Just saw it. But yeah, we're experiencing a lot of the effects from the Canadian wildfires right now. So it's kind of a hazy sun. Trying to get a microphone out and. Yeah, I'm just going to mute the microphone for a little second here. Oh. Okay, Space Nut, could you just let me know if this audio is working? Well, hello everybody. I hope that if there is anybody who can hear me right now, I'm not sure if the audio is working. So if you want to say hello in the text, if you can hear me, that would be nice. We can always mute the audio also because there is somebody deciding to use a chainsaw behind us at the same time. If you have audio right now, you can probably hear it. Yeah. We are actually having a bit of a problem with that, and it shouldn't last for long. It's just a bit. It's a little ironic that they decided to do this now. It's 4:51 p.m. in the afternoon for us here, so it's trying to time this. We're going live out from the porch right now, guys, from the Dreamland Studios of Worldwide Folklore Tales. So the view is just of the backyard a little bit, and then the tree line, and we're looking off now into the woods. And the show that's coming up soon is filmed from that location, and then there are other things that are going to be going on there, but normally very quiet around here. And it's ironic, isn't it? You decide to go live with a peaceful view, and then the noise starts. Excuse me. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the view of Worldwide Folklore Tales. No, it's fluctuating up and down right now, which is fine. Yeah, it's really good if you go to full screen on YouTube, and then you can pinch to zoom. If you want, you can actually get a little bit of a closer view of the woods there. Yeah, yeah, Chainsaw Madness. I was hoping that this guy would shut up, but he's going at it. Yeah, it's disappointing, really. But anyway, hello, welcome, welcome to Worldwide Folklore Tales Live. Yeah, it isn't. It's a very strange day. I'm getting questions in Discord right now, guys. So if you're watching live, I'm being asked questions in Discord. Um, so not in the text here. But yeah, it's uh, it's a very, very strange day here. Still and quiet all day until some guy decided to cut wood with his chainsaw. So yeah, yeah. Basically, we're just taking a look at the view and just hanging out. And you know, if people want to stop by and say something in the text, then that would be very welcome. But I might just have to go and mute this mic. Hello everybody, Worldwide Folklore Tales here. Just saying hello. Excellent. So thank you everybody for joining in the show today. We're just looking at the Folklore Forest from the porch view, and we're just hanging out together, in this beautiful Maine sunshine. So much cooler than it has been of late. And we're happy to be able to say that soon we're going to be launching a 24-hour cam, which we've been promising for some time, but it's been a little tough to get that going, for the date that we actually wanted. But it is coming, and it'll give us a really nice night view of the woodlands down there with all the critters and the creatures out there during the night, but also during the day. So some of our admins will have the ability to be able to operate that camera. And if you guys are here and you're in the chat and you want to hang out, you'd be welcome. And, we can turn the camera around and look at anything we want down there. But there's a lot of woodland out there and a lot of critters. So the nighttime is very spooky, I have to admit. It gets pretty scary. Welcome everybody, welcome to Sorcerer. Good to see you here with us. I know that right now that you can't use the chat facility, so apologies for that. Thanks for being in Discord with us. A great way to communicate when Facebook, Facebook, when YouTube it doesn't give you that ability. There are a few new things with YouTube right now that are coming up, but are strangely affecting, are going to affect a lot of people very severely. So if you're a YouTube creator, you might want to be looking closely at what YouTube is about to be doing, how it can categorize an audience or a channel according to whether it's a teen audience or anything. So that could be an issue for some of us, but never mind. We'll soldier on, right? Oh yes. Question was, are you doing any stories from the woodland? Yes, and we've just finished filming of one, which is just a 5-minute story. It's from 3 points of views. One of them is mobile, so it moves around. It's, the resolution is 4K, so it's a live action kind of turn instead of it being generated through, AI or through, like any kind of graphic editing suites or anything like that. So it's going to be more live action, I guess. And then from there, we're going to see where we can go with that, I think. Discord, question about Discord there. So with Discord, it's really a third-party platform where you can use video and voice. So you can be in YouTube at the same time, like we are now, and I can have people, if they're in the chat but they can't use chat here, they can talk to me directly, either in text or voice, through Discord. So that's really cool, because people can come into Discord as members or, and actually be in the studio. So when we have the studio, and when we're doing the live recordings outside up there in the woods, then people will be able to sort of virtually join in with that. And I think that'll be really, really cool. Yes. again, the storytelling, it's taken a new direction, because mostly because the earlier stuff that we did, it was, I have to diss it, but it wasn't as up to standard that I wanted personally, and we've a long way to go yet. And so I'm grateful personally as a narrator and the channel creator. It's with a great team with me, by the way, a great team, and we're all invested in it. They all share the same vision of sharing this woodland and this area, and really bringing storytelling back to life again and making it exciting and fun, like you would, when you're sitting around with your family and friends around a campfire, and roasting some marshmallows and s'mores and doing that. And it's a little bit of a return to nature for many people. So I think that is going to be good. And over time, I expect that more and more people will come along and maybe be a part of the actual audience. When we do live recordings, and such episodes where we're going to be recording different stuff in the woods, or and have actors actually play the parts. I think that would be cool. And welcome everybody. Thanks for stopping by. This is, if it's your first time to this site, to the live stream, then basically we're just here hanging out on the porch by the side of the studio, just showing one view of the Folklore Forest, what we affectionately call Folklore Forest, where we do our recordings, and we'll be doing more recordings and storytelling. So if you stop by to join us, you're welcome. And you want to say hi, use the text chat. Yeah, well, most live streams don't have, long time live streams don't really have somebody on the microphone. They're just and this camera will move eventually. you know right now we're just focused on that, which, if you're asking the question, yes, they are tents, just covered in some brush for now. But there will be a real shack built out there soon. By the end of this fall, it will be there. Yeah. Oh, you could have a subscription based, not subscription. I mean, what do I mean? Oh, I see. Yeah. So if you wanted to do like a text chat, you could maybe have people have to subscribe to the channel before they can use the text. I'm not really into that too much, making people wait to be able to say anything. But if the channel's not busy, then it doesn't really affect it. But if it was busy, then maybe you might have to think about that. Yeah, let me know if you want me to change the view at any time. I can change that view. I mean, to a degree. Oh, absolutely. Great question. Yes, it, I do dress up in costume. It's a long running thing for me personally, anyway. From back in England, when I was in England, for things like Halloween, and such costume parties, I used to build my own costumes for things like Star Wars. I built costumes, for Comic Con, some of which I've sold in New York, actually. So if you're familiar with fabricating or any kind of construction of costume building for movies, sets, then that was one of my hobbies, and I used to enjoy building my own costumes. So I've done things like stormtroopers and Darth Maul, also Darth. I can never remember his name now, but a few of those characters with the double lightsabers and stuff. And from buying stuff to actually building, it up from the start. So it's always interesting to be able to go back into that and revisit uh, the costume designing of things, design and production. It's exciting. Yeah, great question. Thanks. Hello, everybody. Um, if you just joined us, some of us are in Discord right now and just sort of talking in there back and forth, just a couple of us. Um, so if you've stopped by the channel wondering what's going on, please say hi in the chat and maybe subscribe to the channel or look at some of what the channel is doing or has done and see where we're going in the near future with this main forest webcam. Yeah, ASN, are you still awake? Or do you hear me? No, he is. Probably not. Probably asleep by now. Yeah. So sorry, I was just trying to talk to one of my admins, but I think he's on a different time zone to us in the States. He's on UK time, so it's pretty late for him right now. Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. Absolutely. Cafe latte. Somebody asked me what kind of coffee do I drink. I don't drink coffee. I only drink it in the morning when I wake up. The rest of it is just nature. Sorry, I thought that was funny. What kind of coffee? I don't know. I'm not giving out recommendations for what kind of coffee you should be drinking. Hmm. Sorry about that. It might have been loud. Kind of choked a bit. Um, so the question is the beard real? Yes, it is. Yeah, it's absolutely real, and it's annoying as hell. I'll be honest. Oh, I prefer clean shaven. Oh yeah, maybe with a mustache, or maybe usually I would have probably a short kind of mutton chop sort of style. You know, shave the chin and maybe that'd be the most. But this thing, it's I do it in winter time usually. To be fair, uh, for obvious reasons. We get a lot of very cold snow in winter, and it's a good face protector. But in the summer, you can imagine, it's not very comfortable sometimes. And but the one thing that is a bonus, to be fair, is it's a great mosquito repellent because mosquitoes can't get to your face. So I found that out. Side note. Yeah, we have big mosquitoes. I mean, they look prehistoric. They look like something you'd find in a piece of amber somewhere and turn into a dinosaur, you know. It's crazy. Yeah, I actually was in Atlanta a few years ago, and we were out in the woodland there filming, and and the mosquitoes were huge. I mean, I thought they were ants, you know, like those flying ants that you see. No, they weren't. They were mosquitoes. They must have been. Well, I don't do metric, okay? I'm imperial, so I'm even though I'm European or English, I don't do metric, so I don't do millimeters, but I'd say they were about a quarter of an inch at least. These things, they were huge. That was a mosquito, man. You knew, bat them away with a cricket bat, you know. Whoosh. Yeah, yeah. Filming up in the woods is a challenge, obviously because we want to do filming at night, and at night it's going to be, you know, it's bug city up there, so you've got to take precautions for that. You got to protect yourself. For me, if I'm dressed in the string shoe outfit, I'm pretty good. I'm well protected from mosquitoes and bug bites and such because I'm wearing suede and buckskin, and which is, you know, nature's natural way of protecting yourself. When if you were living in the woods, let's say, you know, you wouldn't be dressed in denim and spandex leggings. You're going to get bitten, and a lot. And there are some issues with that, you know, from health reasons, because, you know, a lot of mosquitoes do carry viruses, and you don't want to catch West Nile or anything else. So you have to take precautions. That's just the downside. However, you know, modern life and all of that takes. There are solutions. Citronella works. There is lighting solutions that draw them away from the campsite, and then when you have the fire also will, and smoke definitely helps to keep insects away, and flying biting insects particularly. So yeah, you do have to be aware of that, and and like I said, you know, there are certain health risks that you have to consider, and I don't think that most people do that. And also be prepared for the fact that if you are in the wilderness, then you know you might encounter creatures of the wild and that are normally out at that time of night. And if you're out late at night, it's something to consider. Um, but most creatures will keep away, you know, especially when they hear a group of humans, let's say. They won't. They won't want to come near you. Yeah, I did. I had one encounter with a moose out here. I was on the ATV, just riding the ATV through the woods, and came across a big moose, and it just kind of it was kind of a standoff, really. I stopped. It stopped. We stared at each other, and eventually it turned around and walked away. Thankfully, but because I wasn't armed in any way, and I wouldn't, even if I had been armed, I wouldn't have wanted to shoot it. But if it had come charging at me, a moose, yeah, you don't want those things coming at you. You know, woof, huge. If you've ever stood in front of a moose or been close to a moose, if you're 6 feet tall, that thing's still bigger than you, and it's got these massive, massive antlers. It weighs about 1,000 pounds, and they're really kind of like determined. They'll stand their ground and they'll come charging at you. Mm, yeah. Well, you know, that's around here when it comes to rifles, we are not allowed to use a rifle. So if we're just talking about that briefly, then you know, I wouldn't. I don't go out there with anything, a weapon. I don't need one. At the very least, I would only carry an axe, you know, a hand axe, just in case, you know, for close contact. But other than that, no problem with contact with wild animals or, you know, dangerous wild animals. No. We can see our sunset beginning right now at 5:56 p.m. You can just see the sun starting to sink behind the trees there a little bit. Yes, question on Discord. Yeah, the Canadian wildfires have definitely an effect. If you look at there, you can see that might just look like grey cloud, but that's not. If you look at the colour of the sun right now, how orange it is, um, that's actually not normal for this time of year for it to be. That sun should be super bright right now, and as you can see, it isn't. And that is smog. Literally, that is wildfire smoke up in the high atmosphere. That's just sort of blanking out the sun a little bit and filtering it. So, and no, you can't smell it, but it does have an effect on air quality. So if you suffer from allergies or anything like that, or smoking, that you might have a bronchial problem with that too. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's not normal. I mean, it happens, but it happens with Canada wildfires. It goes all the way down the east coast, so it stretches for a long, long way, thousands of miles sometimes. And it seems to always work out that New York gets it the worst. But it's not affected us that badly here, to be fair. If you're asking if we're affected by it, no. I mean, you can see on the image on the camera, it's not bad at all. You wouldn't know it was there. It just looks like a grey sky. And in a way, it's actually helping us because it's sort of stopping the heat from the sun. And we've had days and days of like high heat and humidity, so it's real hard to be outside. Um, but we make it happen. A great question. Um, no, I'm not a vegetarian, and I have hunted in the past and for food, not for sport. So that's the difference. Oh, so the cabin on your right is not what you think. It's actually an old chicken coop. Yeah, and I'm going to repurpose the wood there to build the A-frame cabin up there in the woods. So we're going to film that. We might even actually do it live, but it's going to take a couple of days to take apart. We're going to have to take everything apart, and it's on a sled, and then the cabin is going to be up over a ledge. So if, as you can see from that image there to the right, it's kind of on stilts. So those stilts, we'll repurpose them, and there's a ledge over the other side of the hill there that you can't see right. It's a valley and a great walk path and ATV trail, and then on the other side there's an amazing footpath which I will show on a a POV walkthrough, and that path can be lit up. It's picturesque actually. But anyway, um, so the cabin's going to be built on those stilts hanging over that ledge. And anybody who stays in that cabin is going to have an amazing nights, in the darkness, in the woods, maybe a little barbecue going, some fire. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. One of our friends actually said, "Are you going to use that as an Airbnb?" And I was like, "Oh no." No. It is an amazing place, man. I've got to tell you, folks, it is an amazing place. If you ever get the chance to spend time in Woodland, don't take it for granted. Spend some time. You know, it's enchanting. It kind of, I mean, it refreshes you. I mean, life is busy for everybody these days, and we don't get a lot of time to relax to ourselves. I think that's really important to to have the time and space to be able to do that. Yeah, we're watching the sunset right now, guys, from Worldwide Folklore Tales on the overlooking the beginning, the entrance way to Worldwide's Folklore Forest. It is very exciting. It is. Thank you, Sorcerer. Um, yeah, thank you. No, it's a pleasure. Pleasure for you to be here with us. I'm glad that you managed to join us in Discord because I know that the chat isn't working for you in YouTube on your device, anyways. So it's good to hear your voice, my friend. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, Druidian was supposed to join us, but he can't right now. I guess he's at work. Uh huh. Well, we do have some good friends who are watching, in Discord or are listening right now. So, I mean, thank you for that, guys. Really appreciate it. We do have our own separate studio in Discord right now for some of our subscribers to our channel. And they're part of our team. Really, they give us suggestions, I should say, and have really been with us since the beginning. So it really helps to have guys like you to stand by us and share your insights, share your storytelling ideas, and just the energy. Each one of them, these people have been involved in some way in their own way of storytelling in the past. So you know um, we really appreciate their input whenever they're going to stop by. Could anybody be in Discord? Yeah, absolutely. Discord's not for everybody, though. I have to say that. I'm not advertising it here. I'm just saying it's just a tool that we use to communicate with each other and share files and do live streams. It makes it easier when, let's say we were going to do a live stream broadcast. We'd be using something like OBS. We have a live producer that's going to help us to switch camera angles, to introduce people to shot and things like that. Then that's the sort of area that we're looking at in the future. We're not that far from it, but it's still slightly out of reach for now. But that just saying, it's exciting because it's so close, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, that view is just my back garden right now, my outside lawn. The fence is the inside yard, and then basically up the hill. So all of that hill is going to be lit up with torches that go up the hill as a pathway. There's a pathway there. You can probably see it a little bit, but if you can't, then it leads up to the tents up on the hill. and then that will be lit up with torches like citronella candles and such. And so the view at night will be very nice. And you'll walk up in between them. You'll go to the site. You'll take a seat with your food and your drink, and then you will be a part of a recording um, where a storyteller like String Shoe, let's say, not necessarily him, will come out and then tell a story, and there'll be interaction and it'll be fun, and that will be the recording. So you could have the chance to be on the video if you want, or if you want, if you don't want your face to be on it, then it will be over the short angle, kind of see your face a little bit from the side or the back. So yeah, so that'll be a part of an episode one day soon. Having said that, I'm just going to take a short break. I'll be right back. And welcome back, everybody. This is your host, Worldwide Folklore Tales. We're just watching the sunset right now, as we approach sunset anyway at Dreamland Studios. It's really good to see you all sitting watching this beautiful view. If you want me to change the angle or zoom or anything else, then just let me know in chat and we can do that for you. Heck, we might even just take the phone off the mount and go for a walk. How do you feel about that? Yes, our wonderful admin team. One of them right now isn't very well, so they're in bed. Okay. And the fact that they actually stayed by there for a while and stuck it out is pretty brave. If you have COVID, it's not good. I don't know, I've never had it. I've had the flu before, that wasn't good. Oh, and maybe I got a tick bite, and I actually thought I might have got, Lyme disease. But then I realised 24 hours later it was really just a hangover. Right. I know how you would confuse a hangover with Lyme disease. How would I know? I've never had Lyme disease. But if it's as debilitating as people say it is, then I felt like that a few times after a severe hangover, I will admit. Yeah, well, I wouldn't recommend it either. I'm talking, you think I'm talking to myself, guys, if you were just listening in on YouTube right now, but people are asking me a question in Discord, and they're kind of really having a go at me, so I apologise for that. Yes, we can actually, yeah, we can switch the camera view, but it would mean me actually going to the camera and moving it manually right now, and I'm too lazy for that. Sorry. I can do a zoom. I know I'm slacking. Sorry. Hey, I've been working hard. Give me a break. Sorcerer. Good question. Yes, the bird fountain and the bath. Okay, okay. So I built this bird bath out. When we got this property, basically there was a lot of stuff which was very old. Okay, and didn't work anymore. So rather than get rid of it, I figured, well, I'll just repurpose it. So there's cut granite stone that I've made into, me and my wife have made into a nice garden, stone kind of Zen garden, if you want. And the bird bath fountain and everything else is in place, and it's like a little jacuzzi and then a fountain. And but it's just the surroundings around that area now that needs to be tidied up for it to be on camera, because it's just a bulkhead door, what I'm looking at, a beach umbrella and a snowblower and an air pump. So I want to obviously develop that area behind that bath, that garden, so that it's presentable. And that's the next job for me. Small job, but there are ways to fix that, and there are expensive ways to fix it. And at the moment, our expenses are focused on providing quality and content for the channel, and buying new equipment, and providing a higher sort of broadband ability for our local area network that we have here. So small touches like that, they're easy fix, but they usually are about 6 or 7 down on the priority list if you have it 1 to 10, you know. Well, that's just the thing, because I've been capturing some great footage actually on just on my phone from the porch of different birds and their behaviour with the fountain and the bubble bath, you know, if you want to call it that, and the bird feeder. So it's nice to see the different species of birds that we have here. Very bright coloured tropical birds almost. For northern Maine, you'd be very surprised if you're not used to seeing woodpeckers and cuckoos that are so brightly like neon in colour, um, and hummingbirds that literally come into where I'm sitting right now, feet away, like arm's reach from me, and hover and look at you and check you out. It's the coolest thing. Because it's so random when it happens, I've never been able to get it on, capture it on my phone. Right? I'm just sitting here. All of a sudden, you hear the bum, and you hear the pub, and there it is, and you're just looking at each other. But you don't want to move, because if you do to pick up the phone, they're going to go. So you need something. I need something set up for that, where I can just instantly sort of, it hits record, you know, without me having to touch it in some way. So I'm going to work on that. Yeah. But yeah, spectacular. I mean, to be that close to something, um, and it's coming and checking you out, and it's very casual. I mean, it is. It's being very casual. It's like, I'm in charge here, not you. You know, you can't touch me if I want, but I can come into that space and hover. That shows something. It shows like, yeah, okay, I'm pretty comfortable here. You know, whatever. I like that. Join us here as sunset approaches over the Folklore Forest. Excuse me, guys. We need to reposition the camera slightly in a minute. So we're going to try and capture that sunset as the sun drops lower through the trees. Yes, we just did actually reposition the camera slightly. Um, we will go back to a wider angle shot soon. Thank you for that. Yeah. Yeah. Right now we're just looking over at the string shoe campsite with the sunset over the forest there, as you can see. But the camera angle will change over the next half an hour as the sunset starts to fall. Oh, from there, then the camera will be pointing at the sky. If the sky is clear enough, we get some great star views and satellites going over. So actually, that's also a lot of fun to watch. But I'm not really sure if that's going to be possible tonight because, with the Canadian wires. Excuse me. If you're watching in full screen, then you can pinch the zoom a little bit, and the resolution's probably okay to a degree. The future camera is going to give you the option to 16 times zoom. So yeah, subscribers, will have the opportunity to operate the camera. Yeah, the camera is going to be in the woods. So actually, if you look at that image, I think you might be able to see a solar panel on one of the trees there, and that is for a light over the campsite. It works very well. If you to pinch zoom in on that image, the actual webcam that is going to be about 10 feet above in that tree, looking down over the site and then over the woods itself. if you're just joining us, we're looking over the Folklore Forest at the sun's setting over the forest through the trees. Once the sun sets, we'll probably be pointing the camera toward the sky a little bit. We have some pollution right now from Canada, let's just say, and that might obscure the view of the night sky. So if it doesn't work out tonight, we'll definitely be trying that one again soon. Don't forget, soon we'll be launching the 24-hour live webcam from the woods themselves, and that's going to be a fun thing. Night times around here are, let's just say, exciting. Hey, right now we're looking for subscriber number 805, and the next person who is subscriber number 805 will probably get a free Worldwide Folklores t-shirt. Yeah, I know. That was actually mentioned to us before, so um, it's definitely an option when we hit a certain number, I think. Yeah, no, it'll be fun. if you're just joining us tonight, guys, we're actually getting ready to film in that location right there. Thank you for stopping by. This is Worldwide Folklore Tales. Hello everybody, again welcome to Worldwide Folklore Tales, and thank you for joining us tonight as the sun sets over the Folklore Forest. We're joined right now with our producer, the Pamster, and we're just enjoying the evening together and looking out over the porch. I'm changing the camera angles for you all. To remind you that soon we're all going to be in deep inside that wood together, listening to stories. You'll be able to check out the 24-hour live stream camera. You'll be able to control if you're a subscriber. So thanks again for joining us, and we hope that you all enjoy the view, as we will show you a little bit of the Folklore Forest. Welcome. What's her name, Stylinson, by the way? Good to see you again. Long time no see. Well, that's a great question. Oh, you retracted it. What was the question that you asked, Richard? It was a good one, I think. So if you can hear me, then retype it. But we're just changing the point of view from time to time. As we look over there right now at the back lawn area where our fire pit is. If you can imagine having many fire pits around the place with gatherings and storytelling going on, I think that would be exciting. Most impressive. If we can always change the camera angle to where anybody likes, but at the moment, we're kind of restricted to this one camera. Although I probably could go into the woods there with the phone. But yeah, what's the major attraction of nature in this place? Well, that's a good question. And the major attraction is peace and quiet and solitude. Getting back to nature and understanding nature and letting nature come to you. I think everybody has a problem with nature, and if you ever notice that most animals keep well away from you unless they're friendly, but nature generally keeps a safe distance. And I've always found that intriguing, that would it be possible if you spent more time in nature and in a place like this, for say, and there are millions of them, then what would happen? And would you feel closer to nature? Would you understand it? And so nature is human nature. Um, it just got a little bit disenfranchised. Oh, nice. Excellent. Yeah. That's a good microphone. Wonder where I got that from. And so, what's your interest in folklore then, Richard? Are you a storyteller yourself? It's hard to type, I know, to put up an answer to a verbal question. I mean, sometimes I think storytelling is it crosses divides, There's a lot of divides today, so storytelling generally takes people away from that, makes them forget about that. And you'll find if you actually have a gathering of people around a campfire, they might be sharing stories. I don't think any time something else comes to light other than the differences that exist, they don't exist. So I think that's really cool. Um, it's one aspect to look at storytelling. And, everybody's got a reason to be a storyteller, and I think that everybody has a story to tell. So it's just a question of bringing that story out of people. Like one guy in Discord today asked me about um, the difference between somebody who's a nature lover and somebody who's into techno or technology, right? So I said, well, it depends on how you use it. But if you're a nature lover, then you can't really use it. You have to be a part of it. That's very different to, say, technology, where technology serves us. Nature does not serve us, actually. It should be really the other way around. I don't know if that explains things, but I think everybody has that feeling. They're just a little bit scared of nature because they've spent so much time kind of a little away from it, and it's just a park or a forest that you go for a hike in. Whereas if you were to actually live close to it, you see eventually that nature accepts you because they get familiar with you. And I think that's really cool too. And bearing in mind that many people in the world today who maybe live in big towns or cities, they don't really get that environment, do they? Unless they go to a park or a zoo or something like that, or a vacation out to the country. Okay, everybody, welcome to Worldwide Folklore Tales. So our first live stream. This is probably going to be ending around sunset when the sun goes down. Um, when we do have the night vision camera available, then that's going to be a good thing to check out. Come in and subscribe. If you just stopped by, thanks for stopping by. It's been good that you have done so, and we will be doing this again probably tomorrow. And please feel free to stop by and ask a question, leave a comment, and let us know what you think. And come and join us for our first live stream event from those woods up there, where the string shoe reads his first story live on Worldwide Folklore Tales. Having said that, I'm going to be taking a break for a few minutes. I'll be right back. Thank you, guys. Yes, actually, Pamster, we did have some wildlife sightings today, most of which was probably the dog. No, I'm joking. Um, yeah, I mean, there's been some really good birds coming around the bird feeders and the fountain. So, all different finches and different colours. So, managed to get some film of that, but that would be something that we we could show elsewhere, possibly. Um, yeah, Richard Rigo says most city folks would appreciate this oasis away from a too busy environment. You can actually let yourself think. Uh, well, there's 3 points to that for me. One is city folks, so I'm going to relate something to you guys about what I think. I have this thing about city birds and how they just don't get it, and like because country birds, when they come to a feeder, they generally tend to take it in line, and they're very generally nice to each other, and they hang out and they feed very decently together. City birds, on the other hand, you hang a bird feeder out anywhere in any town outside of it, and they're going to go nuts, right? They're going to be, it's like anarchy. You watch them, they're scrapping, they're fighting each other, they're bossing each other up out of the way. So that's why it's a bit of a joke. There was a commercial in the States for a dating agency, and it basically was that, city folks just don't get it. It was for country bumpkins, and I have to admit, I think that the birds in the country tend to be a lot more better behaved. So it is an oasis, and for people as well. So I mean, I think it's everybody needs a place like that. You just wish you could go get it. I feel sorry for people that don't have it, but at the end of the time, it's like we're in an age where you can share it with people, and you know, a place like this should be. I think one day when it comes to doing the storytelling, that's going to be good for people to come. We can have people come and enjoy a nice space for a weekend, and that'd be fun. The bird bath feeders, I realised actually that lights aren't necessarily very good for for certain critters. So we have a lot of string lights around the place, and that's a really good deterrent at night for if you have, say, you're growing food in your garden, and at night the deer are coming in to eat that food while it's in flower, peas, carrots, whatever. If you actually put multicolored lights around your area, it will detract them. It deters them from coming in, and it works. So, if you guys out there, anybody out there who's wants to has a wildlife issue coming into your land, it's an idea. You might you don't need to put up electric fences. It might be just a row of flashing lights, and they won't come anywhere near it. It's interesting. Here we are. I'm just going to move the camera in a minute. Take another view around. As you guys can see, the sun is getting low. Sun's getting low. But by the end of the week, we should have a night vision camera, which we're looking forward to seeing. So at least we'll be able to take a 24-hour view over here, and we'll have some admins possibly, but I trust you guys. I'm sure you'll keep it clean and friendly, and especially family friendly. So let's have a look around, shall we? All right, well, I'm going to be ending, not the broadcast for now, but probably just saying goodnight to you all. Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned. This narrator is going to be taking a break for a while, so thanks for listening, thanks for sticking by, and please like and subscribe if you enjoy the content on the channel, and stay tuned for what's coming up next, because it's going to be amazing and fun, and I hope everybody will want to get involved. Oh, Richard Rigo, just before I finish with my microphone, I understand there is an old ancient sanctuary on the property, some stones dating back almost 400 years. It's humbling to think that such history is here. Well, yeah, that is true. There is an excellent, well, there's actually a very old sanctuary. It's a graveyard to the property next door, and some of those gravestones are 400 or 500 years old. So that's something that we really want to kind of explore a little bit, and that will come into the story of maybe even some of those people, that are there, because it's one of the most ancient places in this country, really, from its birth, in terms of, America, the European America. But I have to add that in symbiosis to that, I believe that the forest behind here is Indian in territory and has a very deep strength to it. And it literally only tolerates what goes on here because everything is symbiotic. It doesn't, neither side struggles with each other. So there is a symbiosis and a peace here. So you can have something like that, a 400-year-old graveyard, with nature and everything else. These trees that are around us, some of them are 400 or 500 years old too. So when that graveyard was made and people were first being buried there, the trees that were planted there were saplings. So that is humbling, right? Yeah, excellent point, Richard. Thank you. Yeah. So I'm going to be stepping away from the microphone for a little bit. Probably just leave the camera on for a while, and look out for us later on, guys. Check us out. But the camera will be live for a little while. I'm going to say goodnight for now. Bye for now.